This is one of the most devastating strikes on Russia's military infrastructure since the start of the war. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let's get started. Well, friends, this was the largest nighttime offensive by our drones and missiles, an amphibious assault ship, a laser aircraft, a strategic bomber, oil terminals, military factories. Everything is in the crosshairs of the armed forces of Ukraine.
Damn, just listen to it roar, everyone. It really sounds incredible, guys.
Russia was burning from Novorossiysk to Crimea. Now we'll show you the full picture of the night and day, what was destroyed, why it's important, and how these strikes are changing the course of the war.
It just hit, right now. Somewhere. This is insane.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started.
Damn.
Dear friends, good morning and welcome.
The main strike was on the large landing ship of Project 1171 Tapir in Novorossiysk. The most high-profile event of the night was the strike on the large landing ship of Project 1171. These ships are Soviet-era veterans, but they transport equipment, personnel, and supplies, and there are only two remaining hulls in the Black Sea Fleet, the Orsk from 1968 and the Nikolai Filchenkov from 1975. One is hidden in Sevastopol, the other was being concealed in Novorossiysk specifically to protect it from Ukrainian strikes. And we got it. Yeah. A strike by long-range drones, a direct hit at the pier. The Russian Navy is concealing crew losses. For Russia's Navy, this is a symbol of the failures of its Black Sea Fleet. It's possible that a long-range Neptune missile was also used in the attack. A masterful job by the defense forces, the armed forces of Ukraine, and Ukrainian special services. Port Novorossiysk, Sheskharis, S-400, Tuapse, and Gelendzhik. Let's go over these important locations. Ukraine struck three key components of Russia's southern logistics. This is Sheskharis, one of the largest oil terminals in Russia. Oil loading arms, the loading and unloading of oil into tankers, dock equipment, and loading infrastructure were all hit. This essentially paralyzes oil exports in the south. Simply brilliant. An outstanding job by the armed forces of Ukraine. And then the S-400 launchers, which we destroyed, most likely with long Neptune missiles. The Ukrainian armed forces destroyed the S-400 launchers. The fire was recorded by the monitoring group Kremlin. Friends, let's take a look at these stunning shots.
Damn! Listen to it roar, guys! That engine is really making some noise, isn't it? You can hear how powerful and intense it sounds, echoing all around us.
And the Tuapse oil refinery as well. Everything has been confirmed by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. One of the key oil refineries in Krasnodar Krai. A strike by Bars jet drones. Serious fires. Gelendzhik, Sochi. There, Russian air defense was firing wildly. There were hits on residential buildings. And that's the work of Russian air defense. Taganrog was just the epicenter of the night.
This is fucked up. It's blazing so much, damn! God forbid the glow is like after a separate explosion.
The unique Putin's A-60 was destroyed and a strategic nuclear bomber Tu-95MS was damaged. It's just some kind of celebration. Let's talk about each one separately. So, the A-60 is the main jewel of the strikes. It's a flying laser complex built on the basis of the Il-76. There are only 2 of them in the world. It's a carrier of experimental Russian laser weapons with a distinctive bulge on its nose. According to preliminary reports, the Ukrainian armed forces destroyed this very aircraft inside the hangar. Just a brilliant operation. I have no words. Yeah.
The plane got fucked up.
Holy shit! Oh my god, damn man!
Tu-95MS. At the moment of the strike, a strategic bomber undergoing modernization could also have been inside the hangar. The cost of the modernization program is $270 million for 6 aircraft. The work was being done in Ryazan in Taganrog, and we struck there. The destruction of even one such aircraft is an absolutely colossal blow to Russian aviation. And as the cherry on top, the Beriev, Atlanta Aero, and Molnia factories were also hit. The armed forces of Ukraine struck 3 of Russia's strategic enterprises with Neptune missiles and Bars drones. There is the Beriev Aviation Complex, the Center for Modernization, Repair, and Testing of Aviation. Atlanta Aero is the manufacturer of Molnia drones. The Molnia plant is responsible for developing strike drones. There were a series of explosions there with detonations and massive fires. The Russians are simply in a panic. Brilliant footage. What a fool.
Over there, just ahead if you look closely. Take a moment and look carefully. It's a complete disaster.
It's burning so badly, damn. God forbid, the glow is like after a nuclear explosion.
And then there was the attack on occupied Crimea. Several explosions were recorded there at once. In Dzhankoi, in Kerch, in Hvardiiske, and Feodosia, everything was on fire. This means strikes on warehouses, on Russia's logistics, on supply infrastructure, on the grouping in the southern direction, and on thermal power plants. Outstanding work. Tonight was just absolutely spectacular. Meanwhile, Russian drones were spotted in Moldova. The Ministry of Defense of Moldova confirmed that 6 drones flew over. 1 crashed into a residential building. This really shows the scale of the enemy's operation. The Russians are attacking Europe. They are attacking NATO countries and Moldova. Russia is in major hysteria. Russians report 250 drones shot down. They are in colossal panic. Drones were flying toward Moscow, and Sobyanin, as usual, was shooting them down himself. But this night also turned into a comprehensive strike against 4 key sectors of Russia. The fleet, the large landing ship 1171, aviation, A-60 and Tu-95MS, oil and logistics, Sheskharis, Tuapse, the military-industrial complex, Beriev factories, Molnia, Atlanta Aero. The armed forces of Ukraine and Ukrainian special services carried out an incredible operation, unprecedented in its depth, precision, and the level of targets involved. This is simply a strategic failure for Russia and a new level of capability for Ukraine. Meanwhile, the international arena also wavered after Ukraine's overnight strikes. Several signals at once indicate that the world is entering a new phase of pressure on Russia, and Western capitals are adjusting their strategies. The USA. Negotiations are underway and the plan is changing. Bloomberg reports that Russia has officially refused to accept the updated 19-point American plan, but negotiations between the US and Russia have nevertheless begun.
We have it, but only through unofficial channels. We haven't passed it on, but we are, of course, as the President said, ready to discuss specific wording because there are a number of issues there that certainly need clarification.
Officials are meeting in Abu Dhabi, and the Ukrainian side will also be present there. According to insider information, General Budanov may be in Abu Dhabi, and Washington is effectively launching a new diplomatic line, unfortunately without Europe's participation. Europe itself has admitted that there will be no European peace plan. Everyone is working only with the existing US plan. This was officially stated by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. A unified Western package is being formed, which must be coordinated with Kyiv, while Russia will try to push its own version, bypassing Ukraine, exactly what Lavrov is attempting. Moscow is nervous. Lavrov has already stated that Russia has only seen Trump's 28-point plan and is waiting for its agreed version from the US, Europe, and Ukraine. This
means one thing. Moscow is trying to legitimize its own version, to impose favorable wording, but Western capitals are still holding a firm line without pressuring Kyiv and without making concessions to the Kremlin. No one will accept a capitulation plan. Russia must capitulate itself. Geopolitics is shifting. The backdrop for negotiations is a series of nighttime explosions in Russia. For the world, this is a signal. Ukraine is capable of independently destroying Russia's strategic assets, its fleet, aviation, and oil infrastructure. And this sharply strengthens Ukraine's position at any negotiations in Abu Dhabi or elsewhere. Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dasha Shaslivaya, and write a few words in support of Ukraine in the comments. And right now, watch an analysis of top-tier Russia's propaganda. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. We will definitely win.
We want it on Russia's terms. In your opinion, which conditions are the most important? For Russia to win? For everything to be as our president says? Of course. I really want all of this to end. First of all repressions against Russians in Ukraine must stop. And then, I believe, within the borders of our conquests, we respect Ukrainians. But as they say, we want to keep what's ours. They should respect Russians in return, otherwise it's a one-sided game. And understanding that peace will be long-term, that they will stop threatening us, stop oppressing us, humiliating us, imposing sanctions on us, and generally stop treating us as second-class people. Is that really the case?
Alexei, do you have 4 orders of courage?
4.
And for you, both the army and war are things you know about firsthand. Now they're talking about the Kimborg Spit, which you and your deputies held. I went
into it from Kherson. And, this is Russian land. At the very tip of Kinburn, which in Turkish means long nose, at the very end of the spit, there is a place that is now mined and completely under fire. It's the site of a former fortress, once Turkish, then Russian, which was taken by Suvorov. This land is soaked with the blood of our ancestors. We dug in along the coast, so there wouldn't even be a hint of an attempted Ukrainian landing. As we started digging, we found shell casings, cartridges, sailors' belts, buckles, helmets from our fathers who in 41, 42, 43, in the 2000s, all of this was defended and fought over. This is our land, soaked with our blood.
That's right. For you, this isn't just empty words. But in essence, the thing is, a woman? A woman.
No, well, she's a Trump supporter, that's for sure. Look at how women who come to power, the first woman in Japanese tradition, I don't get it. It becomes wildly
bloodthirsty. And in Europe?
Yes, Europe
has also become a women's kingdom.
Europe, they were earlier, but what's with Japan? No.
I just mean right now, what's happening? We've got Ursula von der Leyen, we've got these Japanese ladies, they're just out of control. Well,
with this Kaichi, I think she really wants to play the role of Margaret T., the Iron Lady, because she's already, in fact, gotten herself into a major diplomatic conflict.
And now the pause has been broken by the introduction of this document. We have it, but only through unofficial channels. Officially, it hasn't been handed over to us, but we are, of course, as the President said, ready to discuss specific wording because there are a number of issues there that definitely need clarification.
People say to me, how come? You were born in Ukraine. I say, no, wait, I was born in the Soviet Union, in the Russian city of Odessa. In Odessa, people never spoke Ukrainian, never. The fact that there are now Ukrainian-speaking people, they were brought into Odessa, they were never there before. It's frightening how we were turned against each other. I remember once my mother called me and said, Nonna, I don't know what to do. My mother taught English. She said, they're making me teach English in Ukrainian. So I brought my mother to Moscow. Even though I always really loved the Ukrainian language, for 30 years we allowed this turning people against Russians to happen. They were taught that everything Russian is bad, bad, bad. Why is it bad when we are the closest family, brothers? I don't want any
stories today as we discuss it. So
what will happen? Will we win, Gennady Andreevich? Don't
take this too seriously.
We took Berlin 3 times, and if needed, we'll take it a 4th time.
Everything.
No need. I'm a peaceful person.
Hello, about Vladimir Vladimirovich's prophetic qualities. Do you understand today what will happen in 2030?
I think, more or less, it will be the same. I understand what I would like to achieve as a result of all this confrontation. It's clear that we can't achieve a military victory right now for a variety of reasons, but I would like our turn toward the global south not to look like an imitation. I would like us to actually establish the kinds of military strategic cooperation agreements that we made with North Korea, with a number of Latin American regimes, primarily those in the Red Belt, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua. All these countries are waiting for our help and are counting on it. And these are really the strongest trump cards in the game with Trump. Because how are we playing with Trump right now? We do something small and then look over at Trump. Trump, do you see, we kind of have new agreements with Africa, with India, and we glance over at him. But when we stop glancing at him and just turn our backs and start actually doing this, we'll bring in 25,000 Cubans for the war, set up 4 military bases in Venezuela, and then they'll come knocking and say, guys, let's make a deal. Well, it's clear that you're up to something. This sense of samurai-like cold-bloodedness, which, by the way, North Korea has, is something Russia needs. At least to some extent, but we're getting closer to that. The universe itself is pushing us in that direction. We're trying our hardest to renegotiate, but no one is willing to renegotiate with us. No one has met us halfway, not even a single step. So for what, 2 or 3 years now, we've been telling everyone, let's do it this way, here, we'll give this back to you, we won't go there. We won't denazify here, we won't overthrow Zelensky, and what else? We won't use very large bombs. No one is meeting us halfway. Again, Trump said, no Donbass, no Zaporizhzhia, no Kherson, nothing like that. Just make peace somehow so that Trump can get the Nobel Prize, and then we'll see what happens next. That's it. Our well-intentioned proposals are just hitting a wall.
I'm in a state of mild rage. Yesterday, for some reason, there was a presentation in our country of a human-like robot. And before that, we already had such robots. We showed them off. And there was Fyodor the robot. He did something there, a manipulator. Listen, who are you trying to fool? Just explain what you're doing, will you? Seriously, what are you doing? Why? The company was created recently, so they just went ahead and showed it off. We're here, we're there. How wonderful. The money has already been allocated. I can't swear, but a lot was clear to everyone. And so to the music from Rocky, they bring out the Russian human idol onto the stage. 2 guys walk with him, and to put it bluntly, he just falls flat on his face. They pick him up also to the music and lead him away. Now there are 3 of them. And most importantly, hurry up, let's get the material out there. Was this a film about how to steal government or private money? What was all this about anyway? According to Idol's CEO, Vladimir Vitukhin, the localization level has already reached 77%, with a target of 93%. The company LLC Idol was registered just a few months ago, but has already received support from a new technological coalition that includes leading Russian IT and robotics companies. A source in the market told RIA Novosti that Idol's value could range from 100 to 300 million rubles. I understand that Vladimir Vitukhin will try to reach out to me to explain why so early. Vladimir, why did you come out on stage? Why did you show this embarrassment? It's at the level of a children's toy, and on top of that, someone somehow found out the price? What is your goal? To compromise the entire Russian IT and robotics industry. And meanwhile, the Kung Fu robot, Elon Musk, who meets with our idol, who truly just collapses in amazement at the mere sight of an American robot. And if all our scientific and technological developments are at the same level as in the West, then I have only one question. When will there be arrests and executions in our country?
No wonder people then run to upper laws, even children. They have a female behavioral model. They grew up with their mother. That's normal. I don't even judge them for it. They saw a female behavioral model. So in a critical situation, they don't go to defend the country. They don't go to defend their family. As was said, they hide. I'm done. We have to change this. Russia is in trouble. We are dying out. What
it is said about a woman regarding what her roles are, that is, these natural abilities and qualities are instilled in her by God. It is to be a devoted wife, to be a loving mother, to be a domestic fairy, the mistress of the house. And in wise books there's a word that's used, it's conditional. To be a goddess. But we don't give this any religious meaning, it's more about understanding that a woman can make another person happy. A woman shouldn't have to work.
When you look at the people of Donbass, you realize that these people don't need much. They're ready to make do with very little. They say, just give us water for at least 30 minutes a day. They're willing to endure all these hardships for one thing, for a great victory.
You think just 30 minutes a day? No, they don't even ask for that. They get water only twice a week, and that's not even the most important thing. Our guys are bringing victory closer, and victory will be ours.